Hey everyone, today I'm going to tell you about how I battled an enormous rat in Colombia for weeks on end. So the thing is, I lived in Colombia for years actually, so this might be part one of my Colombian stories. There are a lot of them, but this one specifically you need to know about. I was telling this story to my sister and my brother-in-law the other day, and I realized that the world needs to know the amount of craftiness in the extent that rats can go to. So this episode's free form, it's not scripted. I'm just gonna tell you the story, right? I lived in this house in Yopal, Colombia. It's on the plains, not in the mountainous parts of Colombia, but it's on the plains, so it's very, they call them Los Llanos. It's really hot and everything. So things get in your house. When it's hot, when you're in a hot climate, things live in your house. And in fact, cockroaches just lived everywhere in this house, and they would be in our bathroom, and they would scatter every time you turn on the light. You know the deal. We probably weren't living in the best of situations, but I loved it. Okay, so we're in this house. It's very hot. It has this underwater tank under this kind of courtyard that's half outside. The courtyard is open to the air, but it's technically in the house anyway. We did our laundry there and stuff. There was a rat problem. There was a mouse problem too. We took care of the mice. We would take them out when we needed to, as humanely as possible. But the rat, that was an issue, because this rat was my nemesis for weeks. This rat and we just, every night before I go to bed, I'm like, I know he's out there. Or she, I don't know. This rat, I know this rat is out there. And it's trying to get our food from our cupboards, and it's being sneaky, and it's crafty. And we had caught other rats, and other people had been at our house helping us catch rats, but this one always got away. This one always got away, and I found out why. I found out that it was because this was the most crafty rat on the face of the planet. And one night, I had had enough. I was getting ready to go to bed. All of my other roommates were already in bed, and I heard the infernal squeak of this rat. And I was like, no, not today. And I grabbed my broom, and I was like, with this weapon, I will vanquish the foe of this rat. So I started searching. I was like, I heard the squeak. It was under here. It was under there. Boom! I see it just rocket out from behind furniture, and I'm going at it with the freaking with this broom, and I finally corner, and I'm like, haha, today. And I caught it. I pinned it to the ground with this broom, and this thing turns around with the most demon, devilish face, like rat face, but demonic. Turns around and screams. It was an unearthly noise that this rat made. It looked at me in the eyes, and it went, ah! And I was so frightened, I let it go. Like, it worked. I was like, this thing is on another level entirely. So this rat escapes into the courtyard, and I was like, it got away again. It vanquished me again. And I was so mad that I decided I wasn't gonna stop. So I I moved all the furniture. I was just like in this panic almost, just moving stuff. I was like, it's not gonna get away today. And that rat was there. And we start this game of chase around the entire apartment. And I don't even know how long it was going on, but finally, I'm on the homeward stretch. I'm almost getting in on this rat, and it heads straight towards the outdoor pavilion place, and then goes behind the lid of the underwater tank, and I'm like, I finally got it! And I look behind the lid, and it's gone. This rat has apparated. This rat has literally disappeared, and I was defeated. I decided it was time to go to bed. Finally, I went and brushed my teeth. I was just disappointed in myself, and I think a part of me gave up. Part of me really genuinely gave up that day. So I'm walking past this tank one last time, mad, angry at myself, and I see that there are some plastic bags floating in it because stuff fell in there sometimes. We probably should have been cleaner. And I was like, oh, I should probably get those out because they'll be in there for a long time. So I reach in, I grab these plastic bags, I drop them on the floor, and they squeaked. The plastic bags squeaked. And in that moment, I realized that I was dealing with a whole other level of beast. This creature had been running from me, and in the dark, it was nighttime, had blindly, filled with faith, leapt into this cavern of water. Why? Why would it do that? to escape me, it leapt into this underground cavern, for all it knew. The rat gods happened to allow it to land on these plastic bags, and it had just been floating there for like half an hour as I was brushing my teeth and getting ready for bed. And at that moment, I almost thought that this creature, it deserved to make it. It deserved to really own our entire house. We should have been the ones to move out at that point. If it would have been that gutsy, that valiant, it probably should have survived. But I wasn't going to let it. And I didn't kill this rat. In case anybody's wondering, I hate killing animals. I detest the idea of killing anything. But this rat had to go. So at this point, my other roommates had woken up. They were like following this monumental battle that was going on. That had been going on again for weeks at this point. And I grabbed my broom. This rat jumped out of these plastic bags and I pinned it. And it did the scream again. But this time I was prepared for it, so I didn't even look. And I said, "Open the door!" And they opened the door. And I ran with that thing. And I flung it in the air. And it sailed through our apartment in the air. This is true. This is a true story. Sailed out into the street where there was a group of kids playing. And they looked at it. And they screamed as it flew through the kids. And then a cat somehow was prepared for this moment. I don't know how. Jumped up, grabbed this thing out of the air, and ran off into the night. And you know what? I'm not even sure that cat won. The rat might have eaten it. I don't know. But we never saw that rat again. And maybe if that rat is still out there, if somehow it bested that cat, I hope it's doing well, because it truly deserved to live in that house more than we did. But anyway, that was my battle with a rat. That was the first of several Colombia stories I'll tell you. Like I said, I lived there for several years, and that apartment had just like all sorts of stuff. The cockroaches, like I said, the mice, the rats. So that was just one of the like 6 or 7 places I lived in Colombia. So Colombia is a wonderful country. I love it. I miss it. Someday I'll go back. I'll probably delve into the mythology of it as well. I've studied a lot about the Chibcha people, the Chibcha speaking people, the Muisca and everything. I've been to a lot of those sites, so I'll probably talk about that. But man, the rats in Colombia. And as a tangent, I just have to say, the ants in Colombia, if you've ever been there in the hot parts of Colombia, if something dies, if something probably even passes out, the ants are gonna pick it clean. Just like you could be in the street, you could be in the city, and you die, and boop, 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 the ants are just gonna come and eat you, fully. I was never scared of ants until I went to Colombia, but the way these things just like made it into our apartment and would find things, and then like the cockroaches that we would kill, they would just like split them apart and take them out. It was a wild place. It's a wild place, and I should have been prepared for that. But anyway, that's my story about the battle that I had with a rat in Colombia. I'm Levi, and this is Outlandish.